Welcome back, everybody, to the Pair of Kings podcast. I'm your host, Saul Thompson. You can find me on Instagram at Saul Thompson. This week, I'm joined not only by my wonderful co-host.
I am Michael Smith. You can find me on Instagram at @_Smithstagram, I think.
But this week, also by a very special guest.
Charles Gross. Let's talk. I thought you were going to introduce me. Let's talk about it. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
So we are really excited to have Charles. I have a bunch of questions planned, a bunch of ones that I think will come up, but I am very excited. How's your day been? What's new?
My day has been really relaxed because it's been a long work week.
Nice.
And yeah, just enjoying the summer heat from my air-conditioned apartment, looking out the window and looking at everyone sweat to death. Yeah, just taking a deep compression day.
Nice.
That's why I'm dressed so
Decompressed.
going to like Connecticut to garden.
Is that not your general vibe?
I think my general vibe is like the row meets like older lesbian aunt who's really cool, smokes cigarettes, lets you have a cocktail.
Nice. Yeah.
That's my vibe.
Cool.
Also, I'm just so laid back and like not. It takes so much to engage like a strong reaction out of me that my vibe is kind of whatever it needs to be. I'm very chameleon in that way.
Vibes chameleon.
So with your cool lesbian, older smoke cig vibe, where do you go to emulate that in New York City?
I think you can emulate that anywhere.
Ooh.
You have to bring that.
Okay.
That's a very distinct vibe. And I say it with the utmost respect. I'm not tokenizing lesbians because they're very, sometimes, as all LGBTQ groups can be, marginalized. But I feel like I have some liberty to say that because I'm gay myself. So if I'm in the LGBTQ rainbow, I can be a little bit more like I can say things that you can't.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Here's the media training kicking in.
Like if you said certain words right now, podcast gone.
What, straight
What
white
words?
dude that looks like he's in a frat?
Well, all you have to do is say, well, never mind.
We're off to
But
a great start.
I respect lesbians and I respect the innate classiness and elegance that they bring to everything that they do, and that's kind of what I try to emulate is this self-assurance and like classiness. So wherever I am in this city, whether it's a doctor's office or an Uber in the middle of the street, I just try to emulate that for whoever may be around me.
Yeah.
Give them that energy and see what I get back.
Do you ever try and challenge that for yourself? Are you like, can I stay cool in X situation?
That's like 90% of situations. I have really bad anxiety. So my life is like all about staying cool and like not having a panic attack.
Sure.
Since I was a baby, like literal infant, and I would have panic attacks constantly. So it's like, as long as I can maintain not spiraling into like a panic attack, I'm fine.
Amazing.
Having just the absolutely most laid back panic attack of all time. Kind of constantly.
When I have panic, I withdraw. So I just become incredibly boring and like I'm very like in my own shell. But when I'm like, I don't like let it out. I feel like I've met a lot of people when they panic, they're like screaming and crying, and I need to be consoled. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm kind of that.
I get very like clinically, I'm just going to like do what I need to do. And then I will panic later when I am alone and nobody can see it.
same.
Yeah.
Panic alone. Don't cry out loud.
No,
Hide your
it's
emotions.
embarrassing. Don't do that.
Thug that shit out. Don't nobody care how you feel.
Be a
And
man.
Wait until be a man, be a woman, be a child, be
True.
a they them, however you
Be
identify.
whatever you need to do, yes.
But do it quiet. No one wants to see you. Just bottle it up. Everyone. I've had so many panic attacks in meetings. The nicest restaurants where I have to be. I'm gonna use the bathroom, and I literally burst into a stall, and I'm like. But then I call my therapist, and she coaches me through breathing. I take medication that's prescribed. This isn't dope sick. And then I just, pull myself together and I'm like, look, if I need to leave this meeting, I will leave. And I make up an excuse. I have a note apps list, or I used to, I don't know if I have it on this phone, full of excuses that are bulletproof, that no one can say no to and no one will ask questions about.
Do you have a top 3?
Yeah.
My sister has diabetes. She doesn't have her medication with her. She's about to pass out.
Holy
Whoa,
shit.
okay.
And what is someone going to say? Like, what type of diabetes? Where's the meds? Like, could
What
she
if somebody
them?
hits you like, again, so I think about these sometimes in like a date scenario, right? My go-to is my dog is home alone. I need to go and take care of him or let him out.
But that's kind of like, why did you leave him alone?
Well, I don't know. Like
How
my
long have you
neighbor
had this dog?
texted me. Do you? Oh, okay. You
Then it's
want to
gonna be
role
like-
play this out?
Yeah.
All right. So Charles and I are at dinner. It's going
And
terribly.
both of you are trying to leave.
Are we on a
Neither
date?
of you wants to let
Sure,
the other
yeah,
one.
we're
Okay,
going-
so then I have to. Well, I would not want to role play as a woman because that's incredibly disrespectful to women.
We could be on a date. You think I'm that insecure that I can't
no,
be?
I wouldn't want to pressure
What the
you
hell,
into
bro?
role playing on a gay
No,
date.
that's absolutely fine.
because that might cross boundaries that
I
you're
might
comfortable with.
might be a terrible gay date. I will preface it with that.
Let me tell you, I have been on a lot of dates.
Okay.
There is no way that you could top the terrible.
I'm not a
dates
top
I've been
to you.
on. No, oh my god. I mean, you can top if you want.
Sorry, no.
I don't bottom.
You don't
But if I mean, you can top. You could be whatever you
I
want.
feel like
Sure,
we're really
sure.
straining your media training already, and I'm
No, I
very
mean, you know
sorry.
what? I think the top bottom dynamic is something that you have to navigate yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's say you're freshly into this, and that's not even on the table.
Sure,
We're
wonderful.
not. Physical touch is not something we've arrived at yet.
Okay.
And that's fine.
But you're both trying to leave.
Yeah.
We're
the
both
date.
trying to leave.
Michael,
Who-
give us some flavor. Why is the date going poorly?
Yes, give us some texture
Saul ordered spaghetti, and he's just eating it with his hands.
here. But you both
No.
you want to leave too, right?
Yeah. No, I was really counting on you eating your
Charles-
shrimp scampi with your hands
I
as
have
well.
shellfish allergies.
Oh my
So
god.
does Saul.
So do I.
Oh, maybe you guys should go on a date.
Yeah.
So Saul's eating with his hands. What am I doing that's repelling him?
Every time Saul starts to say anything, you immediately continue a different conversation that neither of you are having.
Okay.
I do?
Yeah, and Saul's eating spaghetti with his hands and talking between mouthfuls.
Okay.
So you're just being incredibly
I need like something I can put in my mouth. I'll just put my fingers
Saul's
in my mouth.
being uncivilized.
Okay.
and I'm being an asshole without any conversational skill.
Sorry. Sorry to both
So
of you.
so is it going to be a race to who can get out of this first? Because I'll win.
Okay.
If your dog's the excuse, how long have you had this dog?
5 years.
So then you should know how to take care of a dog.
Exactly. That's part of why you don't like me on this date, right? I'm
then
an irresponsible
I
dog
could poke a
owner.
million holes in that excuse. But if we're both trying to get out of it,
Are we both trying to poke holes in
I
the
think the
argument?
problem is that if you're both trying to leave, you're just going to leave.
You
That's
could say
true.
anything. You could say like, my mother's dying right now, and it'd be like,
Of what?
"Ooh, no.
What's
That
okay?
happens.
We didn't even get through top 3.
Oh yeah. So sister diabetes medication is one.
You had that so
Sister
fast.
diadiabetes medication works so often, but I have to be careful.
So
how
often.
It works a lot.
How
I-
long have you had this sister?
I haven't since I was born. She's 2 years older than me. But that's like no.
Is your
one-
sister actually diabetic?
So I'm not going to answer that.
Okay.
It may make me look insensitive. But you know what? We
Either
never.
in either scenario, I guess.
Anyone could technically be pre-diabetic. So there's
Sure.
always
Yeah.
Schrodinger's cat. Are you diabetic?
That's why I'm on
or-
Ozempic right now. I'm pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
I'm on Manjaro. And you're on Ozempic too. I assume.
Yeah, I'm
What's
on
the last
I'm on
one?
Wegovy actually.
Yeah.
Okay. We're all trying to become emaciated with medical starvation.
What's your second?
Second excuse, migraine. But I feel like everybody uses that.
Yeah.
And then if you get really granular, I've never had a migraine, knock on wood. But people will ask like, oh, have you had your aura yet? Or are you nauseous? And I'm just like, guys, I can't see. My medication isn't home. I didn't bring it. I would have brought it. And I know it's coming on and I won't be ambulatory. And then I'm just out.
What do you do when a real migrainer has medication on them?
Whoa.
I don't take that.
There you go. What's your third?
So that depends. Third is like DEFCON, like I need to get up here ASAP. And usually that's I just got in on a flight and I think I ate something really weird on the plane, but I'm
yeah,
just not
'cause-
feeling well. But I'm like, you guys, I know, and they'll be like, are you sure? Maybe you'll feel better in a bit. You'll get some ginger ale. I'm like, no, I've had this before. Like I travel a lot, and which I don't. And I'm just like not feeling it, and I know it's coming, so I'm gonna get ahead of this. But we should reschedule and let me know if anyone else doesn't feel well, because then I'll know it's a bug.
Oh.
Stomach thing is a really good way to get out of something, but also like sort of the most embarrassing because everyone would now picture
Yeah.
you
Well,
like
it's vague. I'm not
Yeah.
telling them if I'm gonna be what I'm gonna be
not
doing.
what end it's coming out of.
And also, if stomach thing could just be me sitting on the sofa with a heating pad watching Dune for the 800th time.
Oh my god.
So everyone's level of I know people whose stomach thing means I'm gonna be exorcist level projectile vomiting in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and I know people that a stomach thing is I might have gas.
Ate too many pretzels, tummy hurt.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
a spectrum. So I don't have to be I'm never graphic, especially with professionals. I'm not like I'm leaving because I'm gonna, blow up the bathroom. I'm leaving. I'm just like, I felt this before. I think and I might have caught something on the planes. I'm not sure if it's food or a bug, but I would really hate to not be 100% here. Wouldn't, waste your time. And maybe we could do this on Zoom instead.
The moral of today's podcast is bottle it up and make an excuse.
Yes. And then tell the Uber driver I will give you literally $100 tip if you get me home from wherever you are in like 15 minutes. And say I will cover any tickets or legal fees that you face from driving me at that rate. Some Uber drivers don't. But then there's some who are like, buckle your fucking seatbelt.
I had so Michael lives out in Brooklyn. This is a long way. It is a 40-minute Uber late night, even if the roads are empty. It's like 35 to 40 minutes. There's an Uber driver that got me from Michael's to my front door in like 22 minutes. I thought I was going to die. Greatest Uber ride of my life.
Literally.
Incredible.
Anytime I'm in a New York Uber and I don't at least slightly think I'm going to die, I feel like I should have just taken a train.
I have a like almost 5-star Uber rating because they could literally drive onto the sidewalk and like run over a stroller with a child in it. And I will still give them 5 stars and a very high tip.
Because they they're prioritizing.
They're prioritizing me.
Yeah, they're putting the
and
customer
I'm back there like
first.
sliding back and forth across the seat, like grabbing my bag. I'm like I'm thinking, did I do my will recently? Is this are my affairs in place? And when they get me to my location, I'm like, also it's different. And I take Uber Black everywhere, which is not pretentious. It's just I like the space. But sometimes you get like a Mercedes like coupe that shows up, and if you tell one of those drivers, because they never get to flex the car's actual speed in the city. So when you tell them, I need to get where I need to get, and I will cover any expenditures and blah blah blah, they floor it. And there's nothing like being in the back of a Mercedes-Benz convertible going to meatpacking for some brand dinner, and you show up and your hair is like completely blown off your head, but it's also kind of bougie.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Before we get too far away from it, we need to do a fit check. I can't believe I remembered this time.
It's been on my mind, but I haven't wanted to interrupt.
Do you want to go first, Michael?
I guess I will. It's rare for me to go first. I am wearing a tank top by Oliver Leone, friend of the pod. Shout out Oliver from the early days. It's like a weird little like spider web knit thing. Namacheko.
Nanushka.
I knew I was going to do that.
Namacheko.
I always those brands don't, I know they're completely separate brands,
Nanushka.
but I always, the names are too close in my brain.
Is it Nanushka or like
Nanushka?
Nanushka. Like,
I don't actually know.
Is it Russian?
All I do is, I only
It's
read
Kate
it.
Bush
I've only
with
ever
an
read
N.
it.
Napoнимаю по-русски.
Меня зовут Michael.
Oh, you speak it. No, actually.
No, I don't either. I know one phrase.
Same. Хорошо.
All I said was my name is Michael.
I said I don't speak English.
Oh.
I only know how to understand people swearing at me and telling me to go places from
Bliat.
Counter-Strike.
Cigarette.
Sutka.
Door stuck. I'm wearing
Nanushka.
Nanushka shorts.
Nanushka.
I have not actually made that mistake in a long time, but I got nervous about saying it on pod. Nanushka sent us some stuff as well. Love those guys.
Ooh.
They're very sweet.
They're fun. I never actually worn like this kind of like preppy shorts before. I'm normally much more goth, but they're nice. And then I had on Balenciaga Rhino Derbies, but they're not on my feet anymore.
I don't associate with that brand, but I'm happy that you do.
Oh no.
I don't judge anyone for what they choose to wear.
Would you judge some like Fashion Nova if I said everything on me was Fashion
There's
Nova?
nothing you could be wearing that I would judge, unless it was like extremely inappropriate.
Alexander Wang.
Alexander Wang?
I wouldn't judge. It's like,
Really?
it's your vibe. It's your body. You have complete autonomy over what you wear. You're not forcing it on me.
Fair
So
enough.
I never judge anyone. They could be wearing a fake bag. They could be carrying like a dead fish in a,
I think I would judge if you were carrying a
Dead
dead
fish
fish.
is
Because
kind of
why
cool.
are you carrying a dead
No,
fish?
I'd be kind of excited at dead fish.
Yeah, that would be Saul's vibe. Saul, what are you wearing?
These are Haflinger, like house slippers. These are my house slippers. They have a dachshund on them, but each has one half. So you put them together and it's the full dog.
You take them apart and you just
Rip them in
Rip
half.
them in
yeah.
half, cool.
It's like disappearing thumb trick. I'm wearing a pair of jeans from the Strike Gold, and then a old tennis Nike polo that only looks good with pants. I've tried it with every pair of shorts I own, and it looks really weird.
I mean, it looks like you're gonna go play tennis.
In jeans, I'd cook in
No, but
in
like,
jeans.
why doesn't it work with shorts?
Something about the way the shirt falls on the shorts themselves just looks so weird and gives me like balloon right here.
Interesting.
I think if you're on the court and you're really in the throes of it, no one's gonna care.
I think if I tuck them in
you gotta tuck
to
it.
athletic pants, then it'd be fine. But where am I going to show up in tennis shorts with a tucked in polo?
To the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Get your racket. I mean, I see a Titleist. Is that a Titleist or a Callaway ball over there?
That is a TaylorMade ball
Oh.
because they used to sponsor me, which was cool. But
Are you a golfer?
I was, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
Yeah.
How
have you got on?
detailed do we get? How
As
detailed?
detailed as you can. Go all out.
This is a silk totem set.
Mm.
Very lesbian vibes. It's from Women's, so I can, I feel like that's appropriate. Vintage silk scarf. This shirt is from a little shop in Rhode Island.
Oh.
No, Newport Beach. No, yeah, Newport, Rhode Island. So it is Rhode Island. Hermes sneakers, Rolex, Chopard, and a Birkin here on the floor.
Which Birkin is this?
This is a Birkin 35. This is my sleepy Birkin. I take it everywhere. It's kind
Sleepy Birkin.
yeah, it's kind of like slumpy and beat up. So
It's the best. Those are the best ones.
also all my like crisp brand new Birkins are in storage. I don't keep them in my house so I don't get robbed. So
What if storage gets robbed?
oh it won't.
Okay.
Whoa.
It's a particular.
Where is it, by the way?
I'll give you the address.
Where do you
after.
live, Charles?
So I live in this city within the 5 boroughs. So but I've talked about it before. All my stuff is insured, and I don't keep anything super valuable in the house. A Rolex once in a while is not. No one's coming after me for that. I don't think.
How many Birkins do you own? Are we allowed to ask?
Yeah. I don't know. And that's an incredibly that comes off incredibly out of touch and like, but I don't, itemize them as like investment items or like I don't look at them that way. So they're in my closet. My sister organizes. She's my manager as well, and my stylist, and she organizes everything. So she knows my closet like the back of my hand. But I will go in there with her and be like, I completely forgot I had that.
Never go Birkin for Birkin with Charles Gross.
I mean, go ahead.
Pulling out a Birkin 40 and Charles pulls out
like-
6 more.
I have a Birkin 40 sitting in my living room right now. Or no, a Birkin HAC. Yeah, like I have a.
You have the really. Does the number there refer to the size of it? Is it a gallon size or
It's centimeter diagonal.
centimeter
across
diagonal?
the
Oh,
base,
like
I
TVs.
believe. So this is a 35.
Okay.
But I have 25. I have 30, 35, and yeah. I think
What's
I have
the
all the
really
sizes.
big one?
That's the Eau de Courroy, which is a travel Birkin.
It's not
Birkin.
technically a Birkin.
Correct. And it
Yeah.
came with the mother of the Birkin, which was made in the Eau de Courroy's image to be a handbag. So to downsize.
Is that like a functional travel bag? I feel like
No.
no, because the handles and it's just like a big.
And it's so heavy.
Yeah.
So much leather, nothing in it. You're struggling. Then you pack it, and it's like, unless you really, I guess the people that use that to travel aren't carrying their own luggage.
That's
Whoa.
true. Yeah.
I would imagine when I travel, I want my luggage to be like bulletproof. So no matter what the TSA does to it, all my stuff shows up okay.
Imagine checking that, but like not even taking it as a carry-on, but like checking that bag into a flight, and it just goes through the.
I don't think
all the
anybody
shit
that
spills
owns,
out. Yeah, is taking.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's so impractical. And
Yeah.
if TSA does need to search it, it's just not. I always like to be as TSA friendly as possible. So if someone needs to search my bag, I want it to be easy. Unzip, easy, get in there. I don't want them to be concerned and like. So I try to make it as easy as I can for them. They always seem very angry when I get to the airport. It's like,
I think that's just their nature. That's not you, you know.
oh, I never thought it was me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's me. I think it's. But I do want to say to them, like, this is not good energy to be harboring. Like, I get people can be frustrating, but let's just relax.
Every TSA has different rules, and every one of them is mad that you don't know their specific rules.
Literally.
Yeah. I'm I feel like I'm TSA's worst enemy most of the time.
Why? Are you combative?
No, I'm very nice, but I don't think I've had a clean TSA scan in like 10 years.
What do
You
they
wear a
find?
lot of
Because I'm always
jewelry.
just wearing the worst.
Oh, I thought you were going
like-
to say you like had contraband.
No,
stuff
no.
within
I'm
the
always
body cavity.
Michael wears a shirt that says,
my
"I have a
pipe
gun
bombs
and a
just,
bomb."
like, don't vibe well with TSA.
I can't associate with that message, but I, I think
This has nothing. Anyone watching this,
The
this
Brawley
has no
Box
legal
LLC has
connection to
nothing to do
Charles
with
Gross.
Michael's,
But the pipe bombs that I try to bring through TSA do not vibe well.
But in deference to what you said before that, I think have you ever had a cavity check?
Not like a cavity
Whoa,
check,
like,
but like
They
a
do that at the airport?
Oh yeah,
like in there.
not in front of everyone.
Oh God, no! I've
They don't
never
just
been
pull
that
you
far.
aside and they're like, okay, you can come through. Actually, we're just gonna like literally finger this person.
Oh no, I've never had that.
I thought
do
that
get
that was a rumor.
Well, they do it in a private room. I'm sure the jurisdiction. I don't know much about the laws of New York State and traveling and wherever you end up, but I've heard of people that if you're suspect that you have something in a cavity, they got to check it.
I gotta
Oh
check
my
the cavity.
God.
So would you rather wait for to poop, or would you prefer them check it and you get out of the airport?
Damn.
What would you choose if you were presented with those two options? The TSA agent, like,
Who's the
listen,
TSA agent?
I guess out of like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
If it's like really angry,
Nicole
sweaty.
Kidman.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, fine.
If it's like angry John Goodman who's like really sweaty on his feet all day, I don't know if I could do
Michael
it.
Cera.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You
Even
think-
more than Nicole Kidman.
Do you think Michael Cera knows how to do a cavity?
That
He'd be
would-
like, oh,
How hard could it
sorry,
be?
this is gonna be a little. It's gonna be.
You
a little
put on a
weird.
glove, you dip your hand in the lube, and you're just like
No, but John Goodman's like big and strong, and I think if he was angry, I'd get.
John Goodman from Roseanne.
No, who's the guy from Big Lebowski?
John Goodman.
Yeah.
Is he was Roseanne's husband, right?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Roseanne is?
Not even a little.
I have no idea what Roseanne is.
What is Roseanne?
Wait, where did you guys? You're from the United States,
I'm
right?
from New York.
Yeah, I'm from
You
Arizona.
don't know what Roseanne is?
I don't have my family's not from America.
But even that's like a. I don't mean to shame your.
Please shame us. It's fine.
It's
He's
like
British. You could be mean to
Yeah,
him.
you can be so mean
A
to me.
staple of American sitcom iconography. It's like up there with Seinfeld and Friends.
Really?
Yeah,
What era is this from?
like early, like 90s, I think.
Really?
Or 90s. Roseanne.
See-
Roseanne Barr.
I know.
Oh.
I know the name Roseanne Barr. The 90s or I was not in this country.
Neither was I. I wasn't born yet, so. it
Oh
was,
well, fair enough.
I wasn't anywhere. I was just unfertilized egg, sperm,
As it were.
as we all were.
As we all were.
So
well,
you'd take Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Who
that-
would you want to do your?
Michael
cavity
Cera's fine.
Wait, why
seems
does he
nice
get to
enough.
pick? And I got
I-
asked Michael Cera.
check? Okay, I'll present some names: Jennifer Coolidge,
Yes.
Who am I choosing between?
Jennifer Coolidge, Jimmy Fallon.
Not Jimmy Fallon.
Not Jimmy Fallon.
Why?
Is he gonna laugh in
don't
his
know.
weird Jimmy
I just
Fallon
don't want
way?
his voice there. Yeah, see, like,
Pull out his.
he's
note
doing
card.
like a Bob Dylan impersonation.
Like,
Um,
I couldn't.
Ariana Grande
Yes.
and or her
wait,
husband.
does Ariana
Ethan
Grande
Slater.
Yeah, does she
do
have
it
the
with the
sleeves?
the sweatshirt sleeves
She has
over?
the sweatshirt sleeves.
Oh.
She's
Yeah.
wearing her ponytail.
Great.
What is her voice? Her laugh? Yeah. And she just
Yeah.
says, yeah.
Sorry, it's Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
She's tiny, so I imagine you barely feel it.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
And she's got, there's like
And she'd
the
be
sweaters
nice.
like covered in
So if
TSA
she
official
did
lube.
feel something in there, she'd be like, it's okay. Just go.
Just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ship me a kilo.
No, I
No allegations that Ariana Grande doesn't buy illegal drugs.
I do no, the whole thing. I feel like I wear like generally very I wear very large and complex clothing most of the time. And going through TSA in like gigantic pants and like 4 chains and 100 rings generally is not.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I think the key is go with as little, like if you need to get butt naked in 10 seconds, you can. Go to the airport like you're going to the beach. Everything's got to come off and you don't want to lose anything in the sand.
I think I could get butt naked in 10 seconds from most outfits.
If a TSA agent, but really, if they were like, you got to get everything off of you, or you're going to miss your flight and you will be detained.
And you have 10 seconds, and Ariana Grande is waiting.
Well, they'd give you a little privacy to get disrobed, but you got to be quick. So, like, if I needed to at TSA, I am one pull. I'm totally disrobed, and I'm ready for their questioning, especially if I'm in a different country.
Because they're not even doing a cavity search.
Doing a cavity search. They're
getting
just
naked.
I just, without anyone's explicit consent, in the middle of the airport, I'm like, woo, my clothes are like theater ripoff.
Yeah, they're like,
there's a string attached that's tied to the ceiling. We hit a cue. My clothes just rip off.
is this what you want? There you go.
Yeah.
I just bend over. No, if I was in a different country and they were really, really convinced I had something in my cavity, I'd say go for it.
Fair enough.
I don't want to be detained.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I don't want to be here longer than I have to be. So let's do it. It's far more unpleasant for you than it is me. Because I'm leaving and I'm never going to think about this again. You have to take this home and do it again and again and again.
This is your job.
Yeah, Ariana, so just get in there.
TSA Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Think you finish and she says she's got one less problem.
She throws her, or she writes a song about it.
Yeah. Oh.
They'll never. I'm so goody two shoes. There's no amount of money that I would put drugs in any cavity of my body and take it across state lines.
Yeah, that's also, this is not a scenario I think we'll ever be in.
I can only speak for myself.
I'll speak for us. I'll speak for all of us. I don't
Charles is getting implicated in a drug ring. He's like covering his bases right now.
I just wouldn't risk it because I'm so like anxious about that stuff.
Yeah.
I'd probably volunteer. I'd be like, do you guys need a cavity search? What more? But with the X-ray thing, doesn't it show everything?
It shows everything.
Yeah, so
We can see your
unless
wiener.
there's something there, I don't think they're gonna be like, we gotta do it.
Yeah.
And also the little screen that shows your naked like X-ray is visible to everyone.
Not to
Yeah.
everyone. No,
I was just in an airport.
you could see it.
The screen is just right
And
there.
I
No,
did
but that
my-
that screen is not an actual, like the thing that's got the little yellow squares on it.
Yeah.
That's just a representation
Oh,
of
okay.
where they see stuff. Someone in another room is looking at straight up. Like,
Got it.
I thought that was me.
No,
on the screen.
no, that's like
And
a.
I was like, can everyone see
It's
my
kind of like a
clothes?
stick figure silhouette, and they're
Got
just
it.
putting like, they put yellow squares. I think they automatically put yellow squares, but there is someone somewhere who can see the full like tidbits.
my
Huh.
like rib cage and everything.
Yeah. I always plan to go through the body scanner, and if they redirect me to a metal detector last minute, it's a nightmare because I don't take jewelry off.
And
Wait,
your
why?
Because I
peacemaker.
don't need to take it off for the body scanner.
Oh, okay.
They don't
yeah,
care
that makes
because
sense.
it's like it's on my hands.
Yep.
and it's
Yeah.
like they don't care.
They get mostly angry about the bin laptop phone situation.
Yes.
Take your shoes. Why don't you have your shoes off already? Why isn't your laptop fully in the bin? And then it's like,
I feel like we just have such radically different experiences at airports. I show up, I pack very light. I don't check a bag, so I just have a carry-on, but one of them is clothes. I usually, if not always, have TSA pre-check, so nothing has to come out.
okay.
And then I don't wear any jewelry, and I just wear like t-shirt, jeans, and jacket. And the most trouble I've ever gotten is like my belt, and I'm just like, hey, can I go take that off? And they're like, yeah.
I'm wearing every piece of jewelry and knee-high boots because they're not going in my suitcase.
I just don't understand how you travel like that.
Very easily.
Couldn't you put all your stuff in like a zip up in your carry-on?
Yeah.
I could, but I don't like it not being on me. I don't like
I get it.
not knowing where it is.
I feel that.
Yeah.
All my stuff's insured, so if I do lose it, I'm like,
Fair enough.
not that I mean, I don't mean to be too nonchalant
You,
about it.
be
but
as chalant as you want. be insanely chalant. or
I'm just
nonchalant.
when there is the security of this is insured.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
If it's and also as long as I have my health and I get to my destination okay, the physical stuff, the material goods are not my first priority.
That's true. Yeah.
Health and safety first.
Can I ask a pretty serious question that I had planned? I did not expect this podcast to go as like fun, goofy Ariana Grande cavity check as it has. But okay, so you have been very open about plastic surgery. You recently got a lip flip, things like that. And with Ozempic being such a big topic of conversation and being so widely used, especially within the fashion industry, both men and women, do you think that the future of the fashion industry is going to be so focused on, one, these weight loss drugs, but two, procedures to the point where it's noticeable. Like Ozempic face is a phenomenon right now. And that's not to say the plastic surgery hasn't always been a thing. Like, you know, BBLs were a thing, people getting lipo, whatever it is. But people radically changing the way that they look very easily. And with the accessibility being so much more prevalent, what is your outlook on these medicines, these procedures, sort of as they go forward in fashion?
I think we are definitely seeing a shift from this, what was a very all-inclusive space, especially in modeling, to back to a model image of being stick thin, needing to be stick thin, to the point where, you know, I think body image and body shape and how your body relationship, and especially in modeling, it's so skewed. Your body's relationship is with a brand, and you're selling clothing with your body. So it's a very weird commodification of your bones and your fat and your or lack of it. But to be more specific, I think, you know, these medications are originally diabetes medications and are now being used rampantly for weight loss. I think it's really person to person. But I do think more broadly, we are going to see a larger shift with procedures, not just, like you said, not just Ozempic, but with procedures like my lip flip or lip lift that I did being relatively quick. Like I think back in the 90s, if I did something like this, it would be far more aggressive. I'd have a huge scar and recovery would be far longer. Now stuff is so quick, and it's so like you go in, you do it, you're out within a few weeks, your cast and your stitches are out. So we're seeing models that if an agent or a brand says you need to lose weight or you need to change your bone structure, you need to change your hair, you can do that now so quickly with cosmetic procedures, with Ozempic. So we are shifting back into that era of models where it's like heroin chic. Collarbones, hip bones, rib cage, which is not, I know there are a lot of models who are just genetically like that, and that's fine. I think it's beautiful, but I think the public should be aware that that's not realistic. But that's a conversation that's been happening since the beginning of time with models.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is it does feel like that sort of not fell to the wayside, but at least that conversation became very different, at least over the past 6 to 8 years, especially in relation to fashion and high fashion, things like that. But I think, like you said, with the accessibility and almost the power and the influence that certain brands or even modeling agencies have over their models, just in terms of competition, we will see an unfortunate big resurgence and sort of that pressure to change the way that you look. Or
and you can get cheekbones overnight. You can get, you know, so many procedures that are so quick with such little recovery. Or if you need to take a few months off and then come back a season later, and suddenly you look completely different. And I've seen a trend. I know models personally that feel very pressured by their business and their associates to lose weight, and these people are already like so tall and so thin and so elegant, and you know, I think any body shape is perfect, but if you're not making that decision for yourself to go in and change something, that you shouldn't be making that decision.
I feel like there has been there was like a large sort of push in the body positivity movement, and then it's kind of lessened in the last few years. Like there was what seemed like progress in that, and then now we're sort of back to having the same sort of like homogenous runways we used to.
The push was really strong for a while, but I think now brands are realizing that when, you know, consumers, we're all very smart, and when you see an ad campaign that looks like they're using certain models just because they feel like they need to, we can see through that.
Right.
It's not, you know, it almost becomes pandering at that point. And that's insulting.
What's the way to do it genuinely? That's maybe not a question anyone can answer, but like,
get to know models and have muses. If a house has a muse that is genuinely that they love, regardless of how they look, use that muse. Versus let's just cast some models and we're missing our quota on this type of person. Let's throw them in. But I also think the fashion industry is just kind of like that. very looks based. Obviously, and people aren't just looking at your clothes; they're looking at your body and your skin and your face and your bag, and so you just kind of have to. At least personally, for me, I'm not a model, but I just tune out any judgment that I may feel. Like my first fashion week, I may have felt eyes on me and like people looking me up and down, but now I don't care.
Yeah. As somebody who is so tapped in or connected to especially the luxury fashion space, do you have certain brands that you think are, for lack of eloquence, doing it well, whether it be within scouting, within producing clothes, within just having a clear and consistent vision? Are you a fan? I mean, obviously you're a fan of Hermes, but any other brands that you think are doing it really well?
Well, I think Hermes is doing it well in some parts and not in others. I don't love how Hermes sells their bags and the waiting lists and the you have to buy this to get that, which is why I shop at Fashion File. Only get my bags from Fashion File. I love the Hermes, the side of Hermes that's the artisans and the crafts people, and the corporate side. I don't love the sales side, which is why I will never patronize them directly, because I'm not, for lack of better words, I'm not going to blow someone in the corner for a bag or beg. I'll blow someone in the corner for other things, but not
bags.
I'm not going to go to a store and like beg to be considered for a bag.
Yeah.
It's so...
It seems like there's almost a culture around it. I've seen a lot of TikToks of women going and...
You have to like build up repertoire.
Like doing like pre-hauls. Like, this is what I bought to get on the list to get considered for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not even a sure thing because they can't...
Yeah.
No one can explicitly say that that's their policy. And so it's just... I don't patronize Hermes. I buy their scarves. I just recently bought an umbrella from them. I love their shoes. But I don't even tell them I want bags from them, because with Fashion File, you can go and get a bag that's brand new. I recently purchased a brand new Croc Birkin 3.
Whoa.
And it comes to me store fresh. I don't have to wait. And, I don't have to think about all of the hullabaloos. I think Hermes is doing it well, though, on the side of models and maintaining their image and their aesthetic. I think Mercedes is doing a really good job.
Interesting.
I love Mercedes. I think Ferrari's doing a gorgeous job.
Like as clothing companies,
No, I think as car companies.
As car companies. Okay.
But if it's specific to clothing, I think the Row is it's doing a phenomenal job. They're not trying to be anything they're not. I think they're being more closed off.
I was going to say, they do their image very well without being pretentious. And I think they're a little bit pretentious, but they don't, I don't know quite how to say it, like lean into it or they just sort of are what they are.
I think also, their pricing's pretentious.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I have my turtleneck sweater that's like
$3,800.
Yeah, exactly. Is it worth it? No. Is the price justified? In my opinion, no. Do I still buy them? Yes. Because...
Do you not go to the friends and family sale? You don't know anybody?
I don't know anyone.
That sounded so condescending. I'm sorry.
You don't know anyone?
No.
No, I don't. I think I might have been invited or had been sent like a lookbook for a sale at one point. I'm so lazy. This is going to sound so out of touch. I don't shop in stores.
Really?
My sales associates will text me lookbooks and I just send them back what I want.
How do you know how do you know how it'll fit?
I'm very trusting. And,
okay.
And if it doesn't, you can send it back.
Sure.
Or oftentimes they'll send me clothing without me paying for it, and then I just send back what I don't want, and so they only consign it. I'll only pay for what I keep.
Whoa.
And so that has become addicting because I don't have to go to any stores.
Yeah.
I can just be like I with my Hermes umbrella, and I got a bunch of scarves. I was just like, "Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And can you messenger it today?" Done.
Wow.
And it spoils you, but
yeah,
I'd rather that than going into a store, unless I'm really in the mood. But otherwise, in a store, I'm very susceptible to my sales associates' kindness and them marketing me stuff, and I will end up buying something I don't need.
That's the Neme thing.
Yeah.
She walks in and they're nice to her, and she's like, "I'll buy a bag."
It's so hard. Some sales associates can't do that, but some are like Jedi mind trick. Like they just get in there and like they know the buttons to press, and they're like, "Wait a minute, we have a bag. just came in. No one's seen it yet. Right off the runway. I think you should see it. And I saved it for you. And I'm like, and then they bring it out and I'm like, well, how much is this? It's gorgeous. It's amazing. $8,000. And I'm like, part of my brain is like, I'm never going to wear this. I don't want it. I don't need it. There's no part.
But it's just for me.
But the sales associate's like, we should go to a private suite to take a look. And do you want like champagne or tea? And then at that point, you're like,
well, now I have to.
yeah. Then you're like, I guess I'll take the bag.
That champagne must have cost them at least $5.
And honestly, they send you home with champagne, unopened bottles,
Just
Also,
in the bag you bought?
in the bag.
So sick.
They send you home with gifts. When I buy watches, they'll be like, we included 2 extra watch bands. Like,
This is how Saul and I find out we're not real ballers.
no, I mean, I think it's also just being nice. I'm very nice to my. I don't care where I'm shopping. If it's CVS or if it's Rolex, I am.
They just keep giving me Rolexes at CVS. So you also have
CVS
this
is
experience?
throwing in like
I'm
bottles of champagne.
I'm like checking out my prescription, and they're like, We want to talk to you in the back. Let's go to a private suite.
We've got some
We got this
Zyrtec
new
for you.
medication that just came in straight off the manufacturing
this
plant.
is the new Flonase variant.
We've
And
got
we
some
had-
Benadryl PM.
We got some new Benadryl, rebranded, new look, same formula, behind the counter stuff for you, and
It's $800.
it's $800. And I'm like,
Can we get you anything? Water, children's Delsim.
yeah, Pedialyte, Gatorade.
That
from the
might work
cold
on me.
aisle.
I love
Yeah, honestly,
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte, I'd
Oh.
go-
How do you? It's so thick.
Yeah,
it's
that's why
so
it's good.
I drink if I'm dehydrated or if I've just like been vomiting. I drink Gatorade.
Yeah.
There's this new electrolyte drink we got in my office called LMNT, and it's straight up so salty. It's just like salt water.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's-
what Pedialyte?
Yeah, but like they're not trying to disguise it. It's straight up just like it's like magnesium, salt, and
Potassium.
potassium, which has a salty taste.
Yeah.
So it's just, and it's honestly love that shit.
I couldn't do.
Highly
salty.
recommend.
I
It's-
need my Gatorade red or blue.
Oh, blue
like
Gatorade.
Ice Frost.
Yeah.
I get like 5 bottles door dashed at like midnight,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
I will take 3 bottles down.
Hell
It'll like
yeah.
freeze my esophagus. It's the best thing.
How do you? I feel like if I have that, this is such like an old person statement. If I have that much sugar right before I sleep, I can't sleep.
And Red 40.
And Red
I have help sleeping too. You know, we take things to get to bed, and
That's fair.
Yeah.
insomnia is no fun and is not healthy for the mind. So we can tap into some things that are, you know, I think with today's medical science, you shouldn't. If I'm laying up at night, it's like I'll just take my medication.
Mm.
I
Not promoting that. I'm not advocating.
Take Charles's medication.
yeah. What do you consider like a luxury brand? I feel like a lot of brands position themselves as luxury, but how do you define it?
I have not answered this question before, so I'm just gonna give it. I'm gonna be concise though, and get you know make sure all my words are in deference to what you're asking. And I think if you have to position yourself, you're not as a luxury brand. You're not a luxury brand. Your audience, your consumers, make you a luxury brand, and sometimes that's what I always say. Sometimes luxury is just a feeling. So you don't have to necessarily charge $1 million a sweater or have a boutique on Fifth Avenue to be a luxury brand. A luxury brand can be like Dr. Pericone's hydrogen waters that are like $24 for 3 cans or something like that, or something so niche like that, or like these very niche fragrances that only certain people like. It doesn't have to be something expensive to be luxury. In trying to be luxury, you immediately are not luxury, because to be a luxury brand, a feeling, vibe, you don't try.
My question is, following off of that, do you see quote unquote luxury brands and you can immediately sort of sniff it out?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are some examples of that?
So I won't name names, but I think there are.
Can you name names?
Name some
We should get a little bit
names.
messy.
There's some brands who I feel like are realizing that their luxury prowess may be
We can bleep it out.
weakening.
Does it rhyme with anything?
I think I'm not the only one who I'm not. You know, it doesn't take a fashion insider who also consults to to pick these things out. It's just you can feel it.
Sure.
And I've been to stores that I haven't been to in a long time recently. This year, my sister and I go to shopping a lot. And you can walk into a boutique and be like, this feels so different than when I used to shop here. And you can tell people are not inspired by what they're selling.
Yeah.
And it feels rushed. And if you buy something, is it even going to exist in a few months? Or will you go back to the store or something, let's say you buy a bag from a brand, the handle breaks off. You go back to the store and you say, I need it fixed. They might say, we made this for this season.
Yeah.
We don't have the parts anymore. Buy a new bag. We can give you a credit. Hermes, Louis Vuitton, you can bring the bags in and they will repair them virtually forever.
Yeah.
You have your grandma's Birkin, bring it in, they'll fix it for you. They can take everything, the whole bag apart, every piece, stitch it together. And interestingly, the person who made the bag may be the one fixing it. Some other brands, their stuff basically is meant to fall apart.
Yeah.
And I've
Planned
had
obsolescence is terrible.
experiences with some of the highest priced luxury houses where I've bought items and they fall apart. And you can see like the glue in the seam, like the sole of the shoe, or hot glue in some handbags, stitches popping out, and like pieces that are jewelry pieces, watches, some watches where I'm like, this watch costs like $15,000, should not. So then I end up going back to my favorite staples. Like a Rolex is never going to disappoint you. It's a great investment. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So you think there are some brands that like used to be luxury but have sort of lost their luxury-ness?
Yeah. I think they're trying way too hard. They're being condescending to their audience and consumers. And also they're shooting so aggressively for a younger audience that they're tapping into digital talent that traditionally has like the kind of hype house-esque individuals who grew their fame through dancing and personality look content, which is amazing. And, these are young people that should be applauded for their business acumen and the fact that they can turn that into a business. But putting them front row at a fashion show in Paris, what is their 13-year-old audience going to do with that association if they care at all?
Yeah.
And if they do, and are you? And then they have to make products that the 13-year-olds will buy. So they start to make hair clips, lip glosses. Every luxury brand now has a beauty diffusion line, and they're like you can get like Prada hair clips. I'm not saying Prada specifically, but Prada hair clips, Prada dog accessories. So these are accessories that are like $500 and less that you can get and be like, I'm part of Prada if you saw your favorite creator at their show. But if you need to fill the front row of your show with celebrities and creators that are photographed and the show will start late by hours because of talent hasn't arrived, then what you're putting on the runway is useless and means nothing and no one cares.
Do you think we're hurtling back towards the 80s and 90s with licensing out names, or even just, making these sort of cheaper products aimed towards a later audience? And, even bringing it back to an earlier conversation in just how modeling is working, in terms of what talent is supposed to look like, how they're treated. It seems like we're sort of returning to that weird semi-abusive relationship for models, cheaper or more easily accessible things, sort of the fall of luxury as it is. Can you speak a little bit to that cyclical nature and what you think it'll take to pull us out of that?
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
No.
That's the houses that survive this and, the consumers that continue to purchase and give their loyalty. They're going to be the ones, the consumer at the end of the day is the most important thing.
Yep.
That is the most important thing. What your consumer thinks of you, and the consumers are the smartest, and they're the only reason these houses exist. And they are. So if you feel like you're betraying your consumer, it is the most insulting thing you could possibly do. And that's what houses are doing now. And I wouldn't be surprised if you go to a luxury store and they start to make their checkout lines have those like bins of tchotchkes that are super cheap that you are supposed to buy.
The Sephora maze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like you're checking out at like some random luxury house and like there's like a dog bowl by the checkout. And it's like, how fast did you, like one brand I will say that does this a lot, Prada, chopsticks, hair clips, bento boxes, lunch boxes, And it's like
Supreme almost.
exactly, and they're coming out with
Yeah.
this stuff so fast. I'm just like, who is the customer for this? Because the only people I see wearing Prada are people that are paid to. I just watched a video about one of the longest ski jumps, and it was sponsored by Prada, and the athlete was wearing Prada head to toe. But I'm like, it just I'm feeling like, yes, we are going to go back to syndicating names out onto like bubblegum brands, and real luxury means sacrificing a lot to be, hold on to and be kind to and value the people that really made you who you are as a brand. And that is partially why I do love Hermes, and I love the Row, and I love Net-a-Porter, I love Fashion File. They really love their customers, and there's no Chopard, Rolex. They are so incredibly amazing to their clientele. Part of it is, yes, you're spending money with them, but also I talk to my sales associates about things that have nothing to do with shopping at all. We talk about how your kids, how's life. I'll catch up with them for tea and whatever, because we form a real relationship, and they end up knowing what I like before I would even like it. That is luxury. Going to a store and someone's like, that's the new stuff, that's last season, and then you just walk away. It just feels very rushed and I don't know. Bottom line,
There's I feel like there's so much, the thing you bring up about TikTok and all that, there is so much like of that influencing the way that clothes now are like manufactured and advertised and designed in general. And I feel like not in a positive way a lot of the time. It's just something that we've talked about quite a few times on this podcast, I think.
yeah. I mean, I think influencer marketing is really hard to get right. It used to be easier, but now you can see through an influencer campaign like that.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it fails. And it's actually, it does like more bad for the brand. So, some brands are just like, we're going to, get every influencer we can and just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And some brands are like, we're not touching influencers. We don't know how to do that. We're not even like, we're scared. But some brands just go so hard with it. It's like, what's your goal here with these campaigns? But it definitely affects how the clothing is made and what clothing is made and what clothing is pushed. And sometimes they walk into boutiques and it feels so like almost like TikTok shop. And I almost expect the sales associate to be doing like the renegade as to hand me a bag or be like, it just feels so like brain rotted, trend forecasted, like you're in your niche, like doctor bag era, here queen. And it's like, it doesn't work. It's not working.
Yeah.
And it's like when you go to a restaurant and your mom tells the waiter or your friend tells the maitre d' that it's your birthday, and at the end of the meal the entire wait staff and the few kitchen people come out and they sing happy birthday for you, and you can tell that they'd rather be shot in the face. I feel like that's how the sales associates, when you're like, oh, can you tell me about this bag because it's news this season? It is queen and it's giving dog, mom, Central Park realness. And I'm like, what?
Is that an actual description you've been given? Oh, Lord.
Jeez.
They literally give it to you and they're like, this is very Taylor Swift. If you like at like a restaurant with Carly Kloss, have you been like following that stuff? And I'm like, it's hard not to, but it's like, I don't know. Just tell me about the bag. Like what? And then I ask questions. I'm like, so what type of leather is this? Or like, how long will this be a staple in the house? And they're like, I don't know. What does the label say? Pebbled leather, I guess. But if you ask them what era it is, it just feels like they're trying to talk.
Eras tour.
But I'm like, I don't care what era it is. I don't care what it's giving. I just talk to me like this is a handbag made.
Yeah.
It's a $4,000 bag. I don't care what era it is. Which is why I try to just shop where I'm comfortable. And Hermes will never, ever hand me a bag. Well, ever, just in general, because they don't hand people bags. But if they do, but it may not even be the bag you want, but they won't say, you're in your like rich mom era. They'll just be like, you're in your probably not going to get this bag era. Begging for a bag era.
Damn.
We should go to the Hermes store so you can feel the unique anxiety that space brings.
I have been to the Hermes store. The worst
I
ones
have
are the
not.
ones that are proximate to giant tourist locations. So I went to the one in Paris when I was studying abroad there. And I got like a gift for my mom. I bought a scarf. You know, it's what you do. You know, but yeah, like a lot of, because I mean, they don't have the bags there. And I went in and I tried on some of the clothes. They were very nice about it. I think it was very clear me at 17 did not have the money to buy anything in that store other than a scarf. But they were still very nice and very accommodating and answered questions. But people were, you know, loading up on like anything.
Watches,
in the store.
bracelets, ties,
Yeah.
pillows.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. They do have bags in store, at least at the Madison boutique, but they're all for display only. And then you can tell them like, I'm interested in this bag, and they'll say, this is at least my experience. They'll say, okay, so when we change the display, we'll put you on the list of people that said they were interested in this bag. So when we take it off the display and change out the display, we will you'll be considered for this display model.
Wow.
And I'm like, how long will that be? And there's no definitives there. There's so much, like they answer everything with like a question or.
Oh, they do the politician approach?
Yes, literally.
Oh, amazing.
It's like, can you give me a ballpark? And they're like, I mean, and I'm like, what does that mean? You just breathed like within the year. And so I'm not going to like, also, I'm not.
And this is the luxury experience that you're after.
That's not the luxury experience. The luxury experience I'm after is if I want an Hermes umbrella, I can text my sales associate, do you have this umbrella? And it's at my house by the afternoon. That I'm after. And that I like. That my sales associate knows me. And he knows I'm not after any bags.
Yeah.
Because I walk in there with the bags already on my arm.
Yeah.
I'm not like, please, can I have a bag? And I'll like come in and bring you your breakfast every day. And like,
I
what
should
do
try
you
that one.
like? Do you want my firstborn, or do you need like? Do you want
New
to get
A24 movie.
Do you want me to get a hotel room and we can fool around and like we can kind of talk like work out? I mean, that's at the very end of the day. I almost feel like it might be. I'd rather than be straight to the point and be like, hey, look, if you go to a hotel room by the airport and we like fool around, like we can negotiate. I'll make it happen.
Would you do it near Newark or only JFK and LaGuardia?
I'm not going anywhere international. I guess I would do
International.
I would do TWA Airport because it's
Fair.
a nice space.
Yeah.
Because then we don't have to. Well, I guess it depends if they.
Would you
wanna-
dress in theme for the?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like
Mad
flight
Men.
attendant?
Yeah.
Oh, Mad Men.
Oh, I guess I could do flight attendant.
Yeah.
I would need some help with that because I don't know how. Can you order flight attendant?
I'm
like,
sure. I'm
uniform?
sure.
Well, so now you're going to have to get a hotel room with a flight attendant who's a similar size to you
Oh.
and leave before they do.
Okay. And then my sales associate would show up and I would be like, okay, listen, tell me what you want. And then, you know, I'll tell you what I want. I want a Croc Birkin or I want a Croc Mini Kelly. And they'll be like, well, for that, I'm going to have to get out the harness and the swing. And, you know, the spreaders and the lotions and the numbing cream and the gas mask. And I'm like, I would just be like, at least you're being honest. I
Yeah.
wish that they
Yeah.
would just be honest and be like, hey, look, I shouldn't be telling you this, but buy 3 watches, I'll get you a bag. But, you know, at least they're so beat
It's
around
like
the bush.
ambiguous, yeah.
It's so ambiguous. It's
Because
they
people are going to
can't.
overspend. Like,
Yeah, of
if you
course.
have to hit a certain, like, price limit to be allowed to purchase a bag, they do much better to not tell you that price limit.
And also, they do much better. I think they could. I would imagine there's a policy against saying you need to buy X, Y, and Z to get
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. So, and I don't think it's official policy, so they can't say that. Everybody has a different relationship with their sales associate, but a lot of people are like, I go in every week and bring her coffee and we talk and I ask about my bag and check in. And it's like, Jesus, it's a bag. And at the end of the day, it's a beautiful bag that you're trusting to carry your personal items when you leave your house and your safety and you go into the world, and it's going to be there for you and hold your privacy and be an extension of your home no matter where you end up. It could be used as like a pillow in an airport. It could be, you could be
Would you
arrested.
use a Birkin as a
Oh,
pillow?
yeah, I
Okay,
have.
cool. Good. I respect that.
I've used this Birkin as a pillow specifically.
Good pillow.
Depends on what's in it.
Okay.
So I have a Loewe bag in my Birkin that I pull out so I can switch really easily.
I carry a dry bag for hiking, and that's what I carry all my stuff in.
Sometimes
is
I
a dry-
sometimes I put a second Rick Owens tote inside my Rick Owens tote.
I mean, you gotta double up on Rick Owens. Have you seen his recent show?
Wonderful.
I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Very gauzy.
It was Well, yeah, I mean, like clothes. The clothes of this. Don't get me started on talking about Rick. The clothes of this season were like not his most interesting, but conceptually, like his last 2 seasons, he showed in his home, and they were very exclusive, and people were like people couldn't get in, and like there was not a lot of people, so he invited all the Paris fashion schools to model, which is why there were so many people, because he wanted to get as many like.
That's a great
people.
idea.
Yeah, so it's like, so all of those people, or a majority of them, are like students at the local schools. I know a few people who walked in it because they're just like internet kids. And then they also just pretty much let anybody in to see the show. Because he says that those students, the like Paris students, are always waiting outside the show trying to get in. And he's like, well, let's just like let them in this time. I thought it was cool. I meant to ask this 20 minutes ago.
Sorry for the
No,
tangent.
you're fine.
No, tangents are great. That's what we
tangents are
root
what we're here for. We have a Discord.
Oh,
and we
good
like
catch.
to invite people to tell us a word or phrase that people can use to join the Discord. They have to prove that they've listened to an episode. What is this week's word or phrase?
Let me think of a good one that I've been using lately. Dalliance.
Whoa.
Dalliance.
What is dalliance?
So like if I was really in a cult, which I'm not, I would and it had, like
He says cultily.
and I'm not, but if I was, and it was more like focused on like dark arts and stuff, you could say Charles has a dalliance for witchcraft and dark arts. So that's going to be the keyword.
Like DALIANCE.
DALEANCE, I think.
Oh,
Dalliance.
That's a really good word.
Message
You should
us.
write a book.
Similar to like
Dalliance.
proclivity, I think.
Okay.
If you would like to join the Pair of Kings Discord, message the Pair of Kings Instagram account and say Dalliance.
Dalliance.
Should we song of the week, I think?
Song of the week.
All right, so we actually we keep a playlist running. We don't currently have a name for it, but by the time you hear this episode, there will be a name for it, and you will have heard it. Robo-tripping.
Unseen Watcher.
Unseen Watcher would be pretty great.
That's an
Pair
amazing.
of Kings season 11, Unseen Watcher.
Have you trademarked that?
Unseen Watcher? No.
Get it, trademark.
Sure.
If you want my patent law or trademark law attorney.
I'll trademark. If I could get Unseen Watcher, that'd be crazy.
That's merch, bags, playlist. Unseen Watcher, you get in on it, but you have to try it once.
Yeah. Oh God.
No.
I won't.
No. Michael,
Anyways.
Michael, you know the old, not old, the joke that's like X would kill Victorian child? That's Michael.
I am
You
the
know what I
Victorian
mean?
child.
A hot,
Yeah.
too many Takis would take out Michael.
It takes about one talkie for me to feel close to death.
I don't think I've had a talkie, but from any experience with spicy anything, I would probably.
It's not the spice. It's the everything.
the
else.
Red 40.
It's the everything.
What is you guys keep bringing up Red 40? What's wrong with a little Red 40?
Nothing. It's just it's like
Inject me with it. It's fine.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's like a funny thing to be like spooky and up in arms about.
Do they even still use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
It's,
in
it's in everything. But
I
like
love Red 40.
everyone's like, people villainize Red 40 and then aren't weird about
Got the watermelon
like,
ice vape.
yellow.
Snorting a kilo of coke off,
Yeah,
off
like-
their boyfriend's ass. Yeah,
Like
I mean,
someone's
no
hitting
judgment.
their puff bar and then being like, oh, I don't drink Red 40.
I'm like,
That
is
shit-
that even-
Oils are terrible for
yeah.
you.
And I'm like, that puff bar is not even a real puff bar.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
been
a-
up someone's ass.
Also, yeah, it's from
And Ariana Grande.
yeah. Then Ariana Grande fished it out. Yeah, and
That
then
one was
they're
John
like,
Goodman's.
puff bars. But it's always like in the restaurants too. Everyone's like, so yeah, I'm just working on a few things up in the air.
Oh, the
And I'm
shirt
like-
is the worst.
But I'm like, that doesn't do anything, and now you just smell like grape soda and like someone who took like a Febreze bath after a 4-month bender in Las Vegas. Like it's not a cool. And then like they get up to go to the bathroom and all the smoke just comes out of their shirt, and they're like, so tell me, what are you up to? You don't mind, right? And I'm like, I mean, besides the fact that like there's like now ambient haze around our table that like looks like we have a fog machine here,
God.
and like the lights are casting gaze through the fog. I don't mind, but I'm like, don't be a bitch and smoke some real cigarettes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
smoke real cigarettes.
My hard line for dating women is the second they pull out a vape, I'll leave. But if they smoke cigarettes, I'm like, that's fine.
Yes. if I'm dating a guy and it's like we're sitting on the sofa and he's like, "Where's my vape or my Elf bar?"
Are you sitting on it? Can you sit up? Sit under the pillow.
He's like, "Can you move?" And he like reaches behind me like I'm sitting on his like
sister's
paycheck for
diabetes
that month.
medication.
I don't. At that point, I'm like, you and that puff bar are gonna turn this apartment into Halloween like movie fog status. I don't need to be here because then I'm gonna get secondhand watermelon ice, and I don't need that in my lungs.
Secondhand watermelon
And like,
ice.
or they're like, "Do you think this has anything left?" And you're like, they're sucking on it, and you can hear
They
the
smoke
coil.
it on battery.
Literally, you can hear the coil inside heating and desperately trying to vaporize
A
whatever
little crackle.
polypropylene glycol is left in there. We got to go to 7-Eleven. I'm like, it's 2 a.m. They're like, we have to go.
Charles?
We have to go. And I'm like,
how?
I'm like, I have a pack of Marlboro Lights in my bag that I smoke, and I have to go downstairs because you don't like the smell of cigarettes in your apartment, even though I'd smoke by the window. I'm not going to smoke in the middle of your apartment. But your apartment, all your bedding, all your clothes, all your shoes, all your bags smell like watermelon ice, chocolate supreme frappuccino, ice, like ice back sweat. And I'm like, you can't handle the smell of real cigarettes, but we have to go to 7-Eleven so you can use Apple Pay. We both look like absolute garbage to buy 15 more Elf bars or whatever. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. So I go to 7-Eleven. I'm like, I'm not, and I'll be like, if you buy that Elf bar, I'm leaving. If you buy a pack of Parliaments and you smoke with me, I'll stay.
All of this is to say, what song would you like to put on our weekly playlist?
Don't smoke cigarettes though, and don't smoke vapes. It's unbelievably detrimental to your health. And I started smoking at 9th grade, so there's no going back for me. But you don't have to be like me. This voice is not all it cracks up to be. But anyway, song of my choice is "Exist for Love" by Aurora.
It's for Love by Aurora.
I don't recommend you listen to it because you will cry. I
Okay.
think you might, and that's okay. And if you didn't,
No, I love a good cry.
and I would support you. It's
Every
a
time-
safe space.
Every time I really need to lock in at work and I'm like, I'm been on my phone a little too much, I reread the text where I get called like, oh, if you really loved me, you wouldn't have done this. I'm like, oh, that's what I needed right now. Like, fuck, that makes me feel terrible. Like,
I mean, but eventually it won't.
yeah. I don't think reading something like that will ever not hurt.
Right now,
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
stitches are still in, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So, what's your song of the week?
I'm
before I
trying
have
to
cut
think of
more
like
out
my
this podcast?
sad breakup song. What
Wouldn't
would
it be nice by the Beach Boys?
I actually listened to I think it's "I'm So Lonesome I Can Cry." I don't know who it's by. It's an old country song though. It's great. It's beautiful. It's very sad. It's about being alone.
I'm so lonesome I could cry. My song of the week. I'll also go with a breakup song, but this is my like coming out the other side of the breakup and things are looking up. It's "All My Friends" by LCD Sound System.
Oh,
Nice.
Which I think my first like major breakup, I remember biking around listening to that song and being like, oh,
Did you cry on the bike?
no, because that was when I was like, oh, things are actually going to be okay.
Okay.
Actually, another really good breakup song, "You're Not the One" by Sky for Area. Did I talk about this last week?
Yeah, I think you did.
I love Sky for Area.
I don't.
Great song.
I think I DM'd
I'll
with her
send-
once, but
Really?
yeah.
That's so cool.
I'm just DMs.
Yeah.
That's a wild place. Anyway, yeah. Sorry for the million tangents.
No,
No,
tangents are great.
that's
That's
exactly
literally
what
what
we're
we
here
hope for. Yeah. Before we get out of here, Charles, the floor is yours. Take as much time as you'd need.
And that's your book
Plug your book. Plug your comedy tour.
I don't have a book. I don't
and
have
your
a book.
comedy tour.
My book and my comedy
Charles
tour.
is writing a book.
It's called
And a screenplay.
It's called "This Is Not a Cult," but read this all the way through and tell me at the end how you feel. It's free. I hand them out all over the city. You just have to listen to me talk for an hour. And I do have a comedy special. It's a 13-minute set, and I go up and bomb every time.
What's
Tight.
the title called? Or what's the title of the comedy?
We're
set?
my team and I, my extensive team of comedy troupe and I are working on it. My agent, my writers.
That's a long title.
Yeah, it's right. Well, right now it's working title, but mid tour we think we might land on something. But
Yeah.
we have some special guests. I think we're gonna get Jimmy Fallon on.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I'm
You
not
know.
watching. I'm
He
sorry.
did my cavity search.
Your guy- I'm just in there laughing. Everybody says his laugh is fake. I can't tell. Can you
Turn
guys
and
tell?
cough, and he starts laughing.
Okay. Do you think his laugh is fake?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds like
fine.
it sounds like somebody's got like him Muppetized, and he
Yeah.
like.
That man has not felt joy ever in his life.
Well, didn't he?
There's a deep sadness in
I
his
think he
eyes.
talked about some issues he went through.
Oh, I
And
regret
his
making that
finger
joke
almost
now.
got ripped off.
Yeah, I
his
do
own
know
mouth.
that.
by
He
a-
got degloved.
Well, he was.
He was in his house and he slipped on a rug and he grabbed his.
Oh, this wasn't like a cavity search.
No,
thing.
he grabbed his. I shouldn't say this because you're wearing a lot of rings, but I'll say it anyway. He grabbed his counter and he suffered from something called ring avulsion.
Oh yeah. No, I'm well aware of getting degloved by rings, and I think about it often. I also climb a lot of things.
Well, then you're setting yourself up, and I think it may be something you're kind of curious about.
I'm not even a little.
Ring avulsion curious? RAC?
Yeah, I'm a little.
I
You're
think
a
that's a
little
preference on field.
I think it's a preference on Grindr, Tinder, Ring avulsion curious, rack. Or
Yeah,
just put it in your bio. I'm a rack.
I'm a rack.
Whoa.
I'm a rack. So if you do, I'm my rack.
I'm a rack. I'm a rackus.
I am a rackus. I'm going to be in Dune 3, just been confirmed.
Whoa.
While we were sitting here, I was looking at my phone.
I could see this as like Spicefield chic.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, what's his name? Danny Villeneuve or whatever the director's name.
Dennis Villeneuve.
Dennis
I don't know how to-
Villeneuve.
I call him
Villeneuve.
I call him Den Den, and Zendaya's going to take a backseat for me in this next one.
Oh.
Yeah. You're
I
you're
can-
Chani now.
I'm kind of slipping into some multiple roles,
Yeah.
but they want to test me out. And I said, Zendaya, I just think two big names, like two big personalities like ours, are just going to clash on screen.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing.
And
Yeah.
she said, I get it. So she's going to take a backseat for
Yeah.
me.
I'm playing the worm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow, we're going to be on set together.
I'm going bald again for that.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
You
not-
had a buzz cut.
I had the Larry David haircut.
And a buzz cut. Come on.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I'll show you photos.
I'm excited to see you on set.
Every Halloween I try and do something stupid with the way
Okay.
that I look.
I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
I think this year you should get a 70-inch human unit
Oh.
installed. Like a
70
Who should I be?
human Unit.
A $10,000 human hair wig,
Yeah.
70 inches,
Sure.
lace front, custom made for your head shape.
But who what's the costume? Is it just Saul with a
it's just Saul.
$80,000 wig?
I think you should do like feminine fantasy.
I really do think I'd go crazy. So my sophomore year in college, I went as my sister for Halloween.
Were you getting hit on by guys?
No, but all of her friends were big fans.
I think if we did it with some professional,
I'm always down.
Yeah.
I think I would.
I mean, the
Go
budget's
crazy.
like $150,000, and we just have to start at 6
Oh
a.m.
my god! If the budget's that crazy, I'll do anything. You serious? $150,000.
Wig,
You know,
that wig process had to start now.
that's fine. I'd get lashes. That's fine.
Makeup, custom dress, heels.
Custom. Who's making it? Can I pick that?
Yeah.
Can
Who
I
would
get like
you
a
pick?
chaparelli?
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'll just take the back seat and watch you guys trick or treat.
Are you doing creative direction on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I
Yeah,
want
let's do
credit.
it.
I'd want credit.
Yeah. Oh,
somewhere.
of course. Yeah.
In all the content that you produce with that look, I need creative direction, Charles Gross.
If you can put me in contact with anybody that would do that for a reasonable price, I'll do it next year for Halloween. I'm dead serious.
Next year, what you already have this year's look planned?
No,
out?
like this year's Halloween. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can get you in touch with the wig. I mean, the wig's going to be the biggest expense.
I don't know, cool wig. I'd like put it up on a wall after I was done with it. Not like nasty, but like I keep it nice on a wall.
You just smack
like
it on
like
the
a dead
wall
possum.
with a nail. Okay, so yeah, my plugging me just in general. I'm on Instagram, Charles B. Gross, TikTok, Charles Gross, and that's it.
Cool.
That's where
That's
I
it.
am.
Thank you so much to everybody for listening to this episode of the Pair of Kings podcast. I'm your host, Saul Thompson. You can find me on Instagram at Saul Thompson. And this week, I'm joined not only by my wonderful co-host,
I'm Michael Smith. You can find me on Instagram at Zendaya.
and this week by our wonderful guest, Charles Gross. You can find him on Instagram at Charles B. Gross. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are listening to this, don't forget to follow us on your favorite streaming platform for updates. And you can head over to herohero.co/POK for extra episodes, giveaways, and more. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Pair of Kings Pod. And I already said YouTube, so that's easy. As always, everybody, this has been the Pair of Kings podcast, where once a week, every week for the foreseeable future, we are bringing you business as usual, tomfoolery as planned. Have a great Thursday if you're listening to this on HeroHero, or Tuesday if you're listening to this
And you're
anywhere
going to get
else.
through the breakup, you.
You're going to do great.
Whoever you
We
are.
believe in you.
I'm not sure. I have my doubts. But
That's all, folks.
Bye, everyone.